Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 14 of the F1 2019 Haas Road to Glory career mode, where today we're here for the Italian Grand Prix. And obviously if you guys have missed out on the last video, click the eye at the top right hand side of your screen so you can go check out that one, as well as the full playlist to this series. But yeah, so far this season has been an interesting one. I would definitely recommend going back through the last couple of rounds. Obviously, like I said, if you haven't checked them out, you've missed some good, exciting racing over the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I'm really excited to be continuing on this weekend. And we've got a couple of important things coming through. Sadly, first of all, the rear floor under tray upgrade has unfortunately failed though, so I'll have to get that one done for Singapore next time out there. But far more importantly, you can see another email coming through from Carl. Next year's regulations. Matt Roman, have a read of this. The proposed amendments to next year's technical regulations will see changes to the ICE hybrid system components and their packaging within the car. So basically, that means at the moment, according to Carl, until we know for certain, you may want to focus on upgrades on other departments. So rule changes has been confirmed for Season 2 of the F1 2019 Haas Road to Glory career mode. So looking forward to seeing what happens with that. And that works out quite well for us so far this season, obviously, where we haven't gone for many engine upgrades. The worst one for us would have definitely been aero upgrades, obviously, because we've mainly sort of piled on that onto this car as well. So hopefully what Carl's come through with is true there, but obviously we'll have to wait and see about that one. But yeah, really excited. You know, Season 1 has certainly been quite a testing ground for us so far. You know, we haven't, I'll be honest, quite made the progress in terms of the raw car performance that I would have hoped, but you know, we've certainly learned a lot from Season 1 here on F1 2019 as well. And although the points are showing, you know, really good stead, I think Roman Grosjean is probably a better indicator of how sort of, I wouldn't say stagnant, but relative to, you know, all the other AI in the field, you know, all the other teams, we haven't really made sort of the big progress that I would have liked either there as well. So, you know, as we head towards the end of Season 1, as we look into Season 2, I'm really going to try and put a lot of effort into getting all, you know, all the free practice programs done, everything like that. And I think what I'm going to do is spend the rest of Season 1 focusing on quality control and also reducing the cost of upgrades, just so when we can get into Season 1, we can really pile on just trying to get as many upgrades as we possibly can on the car for as cheaply and as effectively as possible as well. As you can see, we go for a quick upgrade on the chassis ready for the next weekend. That is certainly something we need to focus on for Season 2 there as well. But yeah, like I said, I just want to be able to get into Season 2 and, you know, be putting, you know, 1 or 2 upgrades on the car every single weekend if we really can, you know, try and build ourselves up towards the front of the field there. But getting all that out of the way then, let's jump on into the Italian Grand Prix qualifying.
Practice is all wrapped up as we move into qualifying here at the Autodromo di Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Any moment now, the teams will be heading out onto the track. Looking at this field today, Anthony, do you think we're going to see anyone take a chance? Maybe run the hard tyres and save some of the grippier tyres for the race tomorrow?
Well, I'd be surprised in all honesty. It's only the front runners that really have the pace to get away with that. And even then, at the end of the day, it's a big risk. Track position is the most important thing, and it's rarely worth sacrificing for a slightly more optimal strategy in the race, so I doubt we're going to see anyone trying it. I have been wrong before though. We certainly do see some risky decisions every now and then, and it's a gamble that's sometimes worth taking. But if it were me in the car, I would want to be on the fastest tyre for my qualifying lap, without a doubt.
Okay, you should be able to get into the next qualifying session easily, so try to get a hot lap in early so we can save the tyres.
So here we are then, ready for my qualifying session here in Q1 actually for the Italian Grand Prix. And honestly, I was looking forward to this one. You know, the car had felt really good in a free practice. This car does feel good with low wings. It's very odd, you know, relative to a lot of the field now. At the start of the season, we were really struggling down the straights, but now at this point, we're doing quite well there as we head in towards Ascari, just 4 tenths down on Lewis Hamilton here. But as we come through Ascari then, Antonio Giovinazzi, I don't know what on earth he was planning there, but just slams on the anchors on the exit of Ascari there. I have no words to describe what on earth he was thinking in that situation there. And as we get back into the pit lane, you see we've got 2 minutes of repair time and a minute left of the session. I have no idea what on earth Giovinazzi was doing there. You know, he wasn't on a lap. He tried, well, I wouldn't really say he tried to get out of the way there. He just parked it on the apex there, and that is just so annoying. You know, at least when we had that with, I think it was Butler back at France, you could sort of understand, you know, coming out of the pit lane, everything like that. But Antonio Giovinazzi, he desperately needs to get dropped for Season 2 of this series there, especially, you know, considering this is both of us are, you know, Ferrari's home Grand Prix. Obviously, we've all got Ferrari engines. Things like that just shouldn't be happening there. And, well, that was us out of Q1 for the Italian Grand Prix there, and lost for words, honestly, with Antonio Giovinazzi. That is definitely something that I've said in the past needs to be sorted on F1 2019. The AI under blue flags really do tend to struggle, especially in qualifying sessions, you know, when they're trying to get ready for their own run. They really do just almost panic and make some really, really annoying mistakes there. And unfortunately, yeah, that has cost me here in Italy. So, like we've done in the past, we haven't had much success in qualifying in recent weeks. Obviously, we had that crash towards the end of the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying session last time. Now that with Antonio Giovinazzi there, yeah, starting to get annoyed with the AI on F1 2019. But as you guys have seen in the past, obviously, starting from the rear of the field, we know exactly what we're going to try and do then. It's going to be a whole fresh engine strapped to the back of the car there. And I mean, around somewhere like Monza, probably more critical than anywhere else on the Formula 1 calendar as well. So certainly, you know, this weekend is not over just yet. You know, we're going to get the fresh engine starting at the rear of the field there, our 4th gearbox of the World Championship. Let's forget about that and let's dive on in to the Italian Grand Prix.
The Italians love their cars and they love their racing. And of course, they love it here at Monza. Home race for Ferrari, of course, who've had 18 wins here since 1950. But you know, there's not been so much luck for the locals in the cockpit recently. The last Italian driver to win this race was back in 1966. So what now? I think it's time to make some more history here today. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes. And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and starting alongside is Nico Hülkenberg. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas, and Faber, Verstappen, Kubica, Butler, and George Russell, Raikkonen, Gasly, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Albon, Kvyat, Norris, Sergio Perez. They've taken a grid penalty, and Roman Grosjean, Mr. Monaco, and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
So here we are then, ready for the Italian Grand Prix. I'm really, really excited for this one on the whole. Not quite starting where I would have wanted, ready for this Grand Prix, but still, you know, 27 laps here around Monza, the festival, the home of speed, everything like that. Certainly means that overtaking is very much possible around this Grand Prix circuit. With how good we were looking in the speed traps, we certainly are hoping for some good progress here today, but obviously we'll have to wait and see about that one. Obviously, we've seen the strategy now. It's going to be a fairly simple one-stop Grand Prix, obviously, like normal around this place. Tyre wear is never really a particular issue here at Monza, so we'll have to wait and see as to how we fare in this Grand Prix there, from the softs onto the mediums. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the Italian Grand Prix. The 5 lights are coming on now, and it is finally lights out and away we go. They're not getting off to a particularly good start, struggling actually to build up the revs there, and that's going to be Carlos Sainz straight past me on the long run towards turn 1 there. So it is now officially a last question mark challenge there up the inside of Sainz as we head in towards turn 1 there. And now as we try to just keep it nice and tidy, don't want to break off any of the front wing there. The AI actually being very, very behaved this time around there. We do get back around the outside of Carlos Sainz, back up into P19 of the Grand Prix there. So we have effectively stayed neutral of the start there. Sometimes around here, you know, you can just find a bit of a channel and get up the inside there in towards the second chicane. Like I said, up the inside of Lando Norris there. Really want to try and navigate the McLaren as quickly as possible. Probably the weakest car heading into this Italian Grand Prix weekend there. Just through lack of straight line speed at the end of the day, you know, there is nothing else to say about it. McLaren just have not been able to pile on the upgrades so far in this season there. As we try to get on the power as we come out onto the back straightaway here. And no DRS, obviously, on the opening couple of laps of this Grand Prix. We really do need to focus on just trying to use this raw engine power as we come down in towards Ascari here on lap 1. You can see we've got Albon and Sergio Perez having a bit of a ding-dong just up the road there, trying to attack the curbs on the exit there. They do keep it nice and tidy, but hopefully now we're going to be able to try and get a bit of a run here as Lando Norris is trying to size me up for a move. Once again, then we're going to have a look to the outside of Grosjean there, but he just slams the door shut. Skim a wheel on the grass. That's going to be an open door for Lando Norris to get back up the inside here, but we are not done with this move just yet. They can see on the exit of the final corner there through Parabolica. We're going to try and get the run once again on Lando Norris, and yeah, that McLaren just does not have anything at the top end here as we come in towards them. You can see everyone just trying to find their own space on the track there, and we're going to have a look. Potentially Lando tries to stick it around the outside, but we do hold it on the exit of the corner there, squeeze him out over the curbs, and yeah, we hold on to P19 off the start of this Grand Prix there. Lap P18, sorry, even I should say, as we now skip on 1 lap later, now on the back of Alexander Albon here, as you can see, as we come down in towards turn 1. A bit later on the brakes there, Grosjean, I almost thought I'd run into the back of him here, but look at this train that we've got in the early stages of this Grand Prix. You can see on the mini-map, everyone down from P4 to P20 is caught up in this train here, including people like Charles Leclerc, I think the Ferrari I saw up towards the front of this pack of cars here, and I think we've actually got one of the Force Indias and the Williams of George Russell there, just holding everyone up as we come in towards the second chicane here. And you can see now it's just all getting a little bit crazy here. Giovinazzi tries to have a look up the inside. We, well, just send it up the inside of my teammate Romain Grosjean there, trying to get up into P16 of this Grand Prix. And I must admit, you know, with the way the AI handle on F1 2019, brilliant everywhere else. At Monza, kind of causes a bit of carnage, as you can see, heading on to the end of lap 3 here, and now we're in the slipstream of Antonio Giovinazzi here. Just a huge DRS train as we come in towards the 1 here, approaching 215 miles an hour there to the outside of Giovinazzi. We go there. Butler is a little bit slow as we come in towards turn 1 there. We get round the outside of him as well. They're hanging back straw on the exit over the curbs, and that's going to be us a double overtake into P14 of this Grand Prix. And as you can see, it's strange. A couple of laps later, everything had started to simmer out once again here. It's now all over the back of Daniel Kvyat here as we come in towards turn 1 here. He's got the DRS on Sergio Perez here. It's a bit of a drag race there. Kvyat actually a little bit later on the brakes there, but we swoop around the outside of him, hanging match dry over the curbs once again there, and that's us now up into P13 of the Grand Prix, so making good progress at this early stage of the day here. And like I said, you know, we really do need to make this work in the early stages. I think Monza, more than anywhere else on the calendar, you need to be aggressive off the start, because, you know, if you let the AI start to break away, they can really just build up the pace if you get caught fighting anyone else, especially around a track like Monza here. As we now head on to lap 7, you can see Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen as we come in towards turn 1 there. Russell on Pierre Gasly as well. They're almost going to be 4 wide as they come in towards turn 1 here. We're just trying to find any clear air around the up the inside, moves to the outside of Pierre Gasly as we come through turn 1 there. Perez is going to be slow off the exit of the corner there, but the Red Bull's really struggling around this space, as I'm sure you guys would probably expect. They have just got nothing down the straight, so, you know, Red Bull's pace all comes in the corners there, and we do get up the inside of Pierre Gasly here, and round the outside now of Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen as we come in towards the second chicane there, Hamilton style from 2018 there, and a double overtake there. Really happy with that one. Just saw the opportunity, everyone concertina and up behind George Russell, and well, we made that move work, and we are now up into the points of the Italian Grand Prix here, now up into P10, and you can see by the end of lap 7, trying to apply the pressure to the Williams here now of George Russell, and this is probably going to shape up to be one of Williams' strongest tracks on the Formula 1 calendar. You know, they've made so much progress in the early stages of F1 2019 there, and now, as you can see around the outside of George Russell, we go in towards turn 1 there. He tries to hang it up the inside on the brakes, but just a little bit later park it on the exit of the corner there, and that is just now up into P9 even, I should say, of the Grand Prix. So making good progress in the early stages of this race there. A couple of laps later now, all over the back of the Sauber of Kimi Räikkönen. Obviously, we need to try and get a good result here for Ferrari. And you can see now we're going to send it up the inside of the Sauber. They're very, very forceful with that move. They're hanging out to dry as we came into Ascari. We do luckily keep the car pointing in the right direction as we take a lot of curb. And now we're up into P8 of this race. A couple of laps later now, the pit stop window starting to take effect at this stage of the day, but we were trying to apply the pressure to Robert Kubica here in the other Williams car. I'm quite surprised, honestly, to see Robert actually doing a bit better than George Russell. You know, so far it's just been the George Russell show over at Williams. But out of the final corner now, ready to start lap 11 of this Grand Prix there, and we're going to be alongside George Russell, basically by the DRS zone. There's nothing you can really do about that one. No point in trying to defend that move. We now move ourselves up into P11 of this Grand Prix, and next up on the old hit list is Lucas Weber here, having a very quiet race actually, just able to break away from this whole mid-pack, you know, gaggle of cars at this stage of the race there, and yeah, really happy to be able to focus on just putting in the consistent lap times here at this stage of the day there, as Robert Kubica thinks about trying to make a move around the outside, but can't quite get the momentum as we head on to lap 12 now. You can see the pit stop window starting to make effect as we head through the final corner here. Lewis Hamilton already made his pit stop there, all over the back of me here as we try to get the car slowed down nicely into the pit lane. 49 miles an hour. I don't think we could have timed that much better if we even tried there. Nailed the pit lane entries. You can see quite a few teams coming out for their pit stops. Hopefully we won't get caught out too much by all of this. You can see Robert Kubica does fly past me in a nice tiny pit stop for once in this series there. Luckily we come out ahead of a lot of the other cars there. We now move ourselves up into P6 of this Grand Prix there. Yeah, we've been able to jump Weber in the pit stop window there. Not too sure how we've been able to manage that one. I think Robert Kubica's almost going to have made it work as well. As yeah, Weber getting caught up in a bit of traffic on his outlap there, and when he's lost a place to me there, I think he's going to be side by side with Robert Kubica there through turn 1, but I think yeah, he does hold on to P7 here, so we're now up into P6 of this Grand Prix here, and as we now head on to the end of lap 13, Lewis Hamilton is out of the Italian Grand Prix there. I'm sure the Ferrari fans are going to be loving that one, but Hamilton has been well and truly robbed of the Italian Grand Prix there. He's going to further extend his lead at the top of the Drivers' World Championship, and once again another retirement for Mercedes in this career mode here. And Hamilton, I think, you know, he had about a 25-point lead heading into this Grand Prix. That is all going to be eroded there, and more importantly, Ferrari just keeping the consistency, keeping both cars in the Grand Prix there, are really now starting to build up a little bit of a lead once again in the Constructors' World Championship as well. But we would focus on, you know, really on ourselves at this stage of the day, trying to close up the gap to Nico Hülkenberg here as we skip on over the next couple of laps. You can see the gap really starting to come down here, you know, sort of a good 4-5 tenths a lap, and it was shaping up to potentially be quite a good little battle as we head in towards the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix here. You can see on to lap 19 now, and the gap down to 1.9 seconds with a good, taking, you know, sort of a good 2-3 tenths of a second out of him every lap here. With 8 laps to go, it was going to be very, very tight towards the end of the Grand Prix, but no, as you can see coming through turn 1 and turn 2 there, the Force India, the Racing Point, has had a catastrophic engine failure there. That looks like a very, very expensive cloud of smoke and engine parts there, and unfortunately for me, you know, gutting for Nico Hülkenberg there, a P4 would have been a fantastic result for Racing Point Force India there. But for me, unfortunately, that would basically take away, you know, the one final theoretical battle we would have had in this Grand Prix, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The final, you know, 9 laps of this race were very much just trying to bring the car home at this stage of the day there. Charles Leclerc at the road, you know, there was going to be no way we were going to try and close it to him, and George Russell behind there able to make a breakaway. You can see from the mid-pack, everyone now really starting to spread out in the second half of this Grand Prix. It's something that you really do see quite often here at the Italian Grand Prix. It's all carnage up until the pit stop window, and then everyone just sort of fans out into their own place in this Grand Prix there. But the pace have been good in the second half of the Grand Prix there, but yeah, sadly, not going to sugarcoat it, just no action for myself in the final stages of this race there. Valtteri Bottas comes through to claim the victory for Mercedes there. A little bit of, you know, some justice for the team there, luckily just to try and stop Ferrari from taking home another race victory there. But out of the final corner, it's going to be P4 for ourselves in the Italian Grand Prix from the back of the grid. Certainly a recovery drive, and certainly I will take the 12 points there at the end of the day. And yeah, really, really happy with that result at the end of the day. Last to 4th, I will take that.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. So, let's review the drivers' standings. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari continued to extend the gap at the top of the table. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. Well, Ants, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So there we are then, guys, the end of the Italian Grand Prix, and it's going to be Valtteri Bottas taking the win, just 4 tenths clear of Sebastian Vettel at the end of the day. Charles Leclerc comes through for P3 in the end there, ahead of myself, holding on to P4, like I said, from P19 on the grid last at turn 1. Really happy with that one. And George Russell, 10 points for Williams as well. They're a fantastic day. You know, Williams really felt strong coming into this Grand Prix weekend there and able to capitalise in the end there. You know, in a bit of no man's land once again, but 10 points is 10 points at the end of the day there. With Verstappen, you know, struggling with Red Bull up in P6, Sergio Perez and Pierre Gasly, Weber and Robert Kubica round out the point scorers there. Kubica now, I think, scores his first World Championship points here on F1 2019. Devon Butler, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Sainz, Albon, Kvyat, Giovinazzi and Norris round at the finishes there, with Hülkenberg and Hamilton both not making it through to the end of the Grand Prix there. And yeah, like I said, Hamilton really probably felt robbed in that when he was holding on comfortably in the early stages of the day there. And yeah, a bit of heartbreak for him not to be able to come through for the full 25 points and further extend his World Championship lead. As you can see in the World Championship, though, the gap now back down to 6 points ahead of Sebastian Vettel there. Charles Leclerc within a one-race victory as well, and Bottas now back within 50 points of his teammate there. A fantastic job by him. And, you know, we said last weekend about how Bottas was probably out of this World Championship. Maybe, just maybe, he can try and wriggle his way back in there as well. We can see we now jump over the 100-point mark in the Haas Road to Glory pyramid there. The aim by the end of the season, well, we've done it, what, 8 rounds early at the end of the day there. George Russell now jumps my teammate Grosjean, Raikkonen, Norris, Daniel Ricciardo there, up to P11 of the Drivers' World Championship. And the only drivers now yet to score, Danny Kvyat, Alex Albon and Antonio Giovinazzi there. In the constructors' standings, we really now are closing up to Racing Point after some good consistent results at this stage of the season there. So really happy with that one. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here and you do want to see more of the Haas Road to Glory career. Next time out, we will be heading to Singapore. Not looking forward to that one, but hopefully we can still have a good solid race at the end of the day. But yeah, like I said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you guys next time for the Singapore Grand Prix.